What's up? I'm gonna dive right into this video because I'm just excited. As the description says, we are discussing problems. We all have them. And I just heard, as I was just now talking, the song Friends. How many of us have them? Let's be friends. And yeah. So some of our problems stem from our friends and our associations and who we're dealing with, okay? But I didn't even come on here to say all that. We're going to jump right into the I, the A, and the S. The I of problems is identifying, okay? The A is, initially I said acceptance or accept, but I changed it to acknowledge, and we will discuss why briefly, shortly. And the S is to solve. So the first step in the problem series is to identify that there is a problem. You won't even get to the point of acknowledging a problem if you don't even identify that there is one, correct? So once we identify a problem, and the word identify according to the dictionary means to establish or indicate who or what someone or something is, recognize or distinguish, especially something considered worthy of attention, assign a particular characteristic or characterization to oneself, describe oneself as belonging to a particular category or a group. And the second definition says associate someone closely with, regard someone as having strong links with, equate someone or something with, and finally regard oneself as sharing the same characteristics or thinking as someone else. Acknowledge means to accept or admit the existence or truth of a body of opinion, recognize the fact or importance or quality of, accept the validity of or legitimacy of, show that one has noticed or recognized someone by making a gesture or greeting, and finally to confirm receipt of something. And accept means to consent to receive a thing offered, to give an affirmative answer to, an offer or proposal, say yes to a proposal of marriage, receive as adequate, valid, or suitable, regard favorable or with approval, welcome, of a thing be designed to allow something to be inserted or applied, believe or come to recognize an opinion explanation as valid or correct, take upon oneself a responsibility or liability, and finally tolerate or submit to something unpleasant or undesired. And finally, the word solve means find an answer to explanation for or means of effectively dealing with a problem or mystery. So that was probably a lot. If you weren't taking notes, that's totally fine because this is live and you can watch it forever and ever. So I'm going to go into the identifying, okay? So we'll never, again, like I said, you'll never get to the point of solving something if you don't identify that there is a problem. So often we are walking around naive and like everything's perfect in the world and just lilies and daisies and flowers and roses, and there are problems all around us. And initially I was going to just say, title this "You Are the Problem," but I felt like that was a little harsh, but we're going to go there. So often in life, we're so quick to point out the problems and flaws of others when we need to focus in on ourselves, because at the end of the day, you cannot control anyone other than yourself. And oftentimes we are so busy focusing on the problems of others when we are the problem. But that's not a bad thing, because since I cannot control others, I would rather focus in on what I can control, which is myself. So if there's a problem, say on your job, you can point out everybody else, everything, what should be done, and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, that's wasting time. Nothing is getting solved or accomplished. But if you understand and accept your role in the issue, or that you could potentially be the problem, then you're going to begin to take steps to see what I need to do to alleviate the situation, okay? So identify. We already went over the definition. The reason I chose the A of acceptance is because, acknowledge. Acknowledge versus acceptance. Acceptance is subscribing to the fact that this is what it is, and this is pretty much how it's gonna be. So if I have a hangnail, I identify, oh crap, I have a hangnail. If I accept the fact that this hangnail is mine, you know, typically people say my allergies, my headache, my this, and we take ownership of problems when this ain't my allergies. I am experiencing allergies, but they're not mine, because if they were mine, that means I got to keep up with them and deal with it. I'm not planning on dealing with it. My poverty, my mindset. Yo, you don't have to stay in the same situation. So the difference between accepting and acknowledging is accepting is taking ownership of something as if you want it to remain there forever. Acknowledging is, okay, babe, I see you, but guess what? You ain't welcomed here. Okay? This hangnail, I see you. I acknowledge you there, but guess what? All I gotta do is get the little clippers and they're gone. So you may be like, okay, you're talking about a hangnail. My problem is way bigger, but is it? How is it? Hangnails hurt. So what is your hangnail that you've accepted, that you've taken ownership? Some of the definitions say an undesirable thing. Majority of the things we're taking ownership of are just like, oh, I guess that's what it has to be. No, it doesn't. But it will continue to be that if you choose to accept it. So we know there's optimistic outlooks on life, pessimistic, realistic, and regardless of what you subscribe to, at the end of the day, it is up to you. The choice is yours. Like, I don't really care about what's realistic or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, I can acknowledge something, but that is that with the intent to solve it, which leads me to the S. In order to solve something, it's in the definition. You have to understand that there's a problem, because if there wasn't a problem, there wouldn't be anything to solve. Okay, so we've identified there is a problem, we have acknowledged it, and now it's time to solve it. And do you know that that is like the holy grail of life? People that are inventors, they saw that there was a problem and they invented something to solve the problem. They answered the question to a problem. And whether you, regardless of if you want to be an inventor or an entrepreneur or just a better person, if you come up with answers to problems, you're going to be ahead of the game, because so often we're quick to point out the problems, but we don't even present solutions. So on your job, if you see that, I don't know, like we'll do McDonald's. You see that if you keep on keeping the fries on for 3 minutes, they burn up. Well, and you present that to your boss, man, we're told, and it's always been done, that we drop the fries for 3 minutes, but they starting to get burned up, and we're getting customers complaining, and I done got cussed out 3 times this week. And your boss is like, yeah, I'm aware of that. But if you come to them, boss, you know, the problem issue, I've noticed it. I've identified that there's an issue with the fries and I'm acknowledging it, and I've seen it, and I want to share with you a few ideas that can solve the problem. Maybe we can have a fry station, a fry person that literally stops them, lifts them out the grease at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Because I noticed that one time I tried that and they were perfect. They were crispy, they were not burnt up, and it's kind of hard for us to catch them like that when no one's right there. So maybe we could get a fry person on standby to catch them at 2:30. And I did think about the fact that we are a little short-staffed, so maybe if we can't really designate a person, how about we set the clock to stop at 2:30, and then we'll at 2:20, and then we'll hear it beeping, and by the time we get to it, they're not burned up. Or if that doesn't work, maybe we have to let the people know that unfortunately we can't get fries because we don't want you guys to have these burn up fries, but in the meantime we'll give you chips for free until we get this fixed. You provided 3 solutions to a problem, and guess what? That has literally just made your boss's life easier. So in life, there's nothing wrong with problems. If you're the problem, guess what? You are in the optimal position to solve it. And oftentimes the answer is in the problem. So, okay, let me use one more example and I'm going to close. Sometimes I'll be first to admit, I used to get mad at the birds for chirping. I would be mad at a bird for chirping because I was asleep and trying to sleep and they woke me up. The problem is me, not the birds. So the answer is address why the heck I'm getting mad at a bird for singing. Okay, so what I did was I shifted my perspective and enjoyed the singing. And it is so great that birds can sing and that they're happy this morning. And I'm up and alive to hear them. I'm not deaf. I'm not somewhere in jail where I can't hear nothing but screaming. I can hear the birds. I'm in my own bed. I'm in my own home to hear the birds. Like this train is usually, oh my gosh, the train's coming. But the train is my cue that it's time to wrap it up. That's how I see it. Or the fact that there is trains running, because that means someone has a job. That means stuff is getting from point A to point B in an efficient manner. You know, that means someone invented a train track and it's been around for all these years. I have ears to hear it. Like, my mind is going towards gratitude for the problem. And then the problem is no longer a problem. It's just something that I have the opportunity to solve. God bless you. I hope this has been a blessing. Be sure to share this video. Click the link in my bio to check out my website and subscribe to my YouTube channel, or just type Awesomely Ashley in YouTube to subscribe. I have set a goal to double my subscribers each month. I'm currently at 100, so this month we need 200. If 10 of you guys share it with 10 people, I'm not that good at math, but I think whatever, however we get there, it don't matter. But let's get there, okay? God bless you all. Peace.